Good evening everybody and welcome to Gustav Making Stuff. This time I am going to try, or actually do, turning this old nerf Maverick that is broken, it doesn't work anymore, and it's falling apart and so on, to the 10mm pistol from Fallout 4, the boxier upgraded version that almost looks like the one in the third game, that looks like the one in the first game. Anyway, let's start it. So we are going to start by disassembling this old Nerf gun for all its parts that we don't need. It's just the shell we're gonna use here, so just take up everything except the trigger, which we can, well, repurpose on this thing here. And you see it's just gonna be slided there. You can possibly make this sliding. And also gonna draw some lines of things I'm going to cut off, and also start cutting off stuff with this saw blade. Also a saw blade without the saw attached to it, which will make it easier for commenters. So now I have cut away stuff, so you can see here what I have cut away from this Nerf gun here, which I have marked for your convenience with this black marker here. So it will be like this when you're gonna have it later on. It's gonna be like that. I'm gonna use this for structuring. So this part is gonna be for the tube thingy that will be there, and it's gonna be 7.7 centimeters, or from that it's gonna be 7.6 basically. So if it's gonna line up from that point down there, it's gonna be 7.4 actually, sorry, 7.4, and also you see here 7.4. So you see, so you can just make this be straight and nice. And you see, there we have the difference line out for you there, so you can see. And now you see what we have cut out a little bit here, so that thing will be attached to it like that. Because if you have the line in the middle where the two parts are splitting up, use this as a reference so it will get straight. You see what I'm doing there? I actually accidentally glued this, crooked, as you see, and I corrected it a little bit later, which I didn't film. But as you see, now I take the insert, then I will just fill that in with glue so it will hold itself up better. You can also use like screws and stuff to make this be more better. And you see, now I'm gonna take the trigger here and actually drill the holes in them. I have 3 holes in them. The trigger isn't completely accurate, but well, it looks nice anyway. Now we're gonna cut up the things that are gonna be the difference between the comfort handle or whatever it is, the third upgrade handle of the 10mm pistol handle, because the Nerf guns kind of looks like that one. That's why I got inspired to transform this old thing into a 10mm pistol instead. And you see it's a lot of fixing and shaping it so it will look a little bit nicer. And now we're gonna have the trigger here, which I'm going to glue into place. Like that. Also put a little bit of glue up there so it will be a bit sturdy. And you see, there we go. And after that, I'm going to draw the panels that is going to be attached to this, and also that we have to make some changes to the gun's length because of the little ledge there. You see the triangle in front there. So we're going to take this very, very thin wall foam that you use to you buy it to put under the floor when you're gonna put a new floor in it. You can find that IKEA, I think. I'm not sure where I find it, but it's very common to buy in hardware stores and stuff where you can get a new floor to put into your house. And it's also very, very easy to shape and so on, because it's a very dense styrofoam thing. And you see, now I'm just gonna extend that part so it will line up with the thing back there, which I don't remember the name of at this moment. Anyway, so just a very nice cutting of that, which is gonna be a lot of to build up all the little panels. And you see I'm just mostly eyeballing this so it will fit in perfectly like that. And then you see I will do the exact same thing on the other side on it, so just copying all its little templates that I make. And then we filled out all that. You see there's the edge of the like the normal stock form gun. And now I'm gonna put this on a cooking silicone form, and I'm going to fill that hole with hot glue, so it will be a flat, a flat panel there, so it will fill up the hole very well. So you're just going to hold it there until it dries, and it's like that then. And then you might have to do some little bit of shaving of it so it will be like even flatter. This does not show, due to we're going to cover this with other panels, but it will keep it much more straight. And now we're going to take this as a thicker form of styrofoam with no bubbles in it. Just cut out a little details things on the back part of the gun there. And this is a bit tricky to shape. You can also do a little bit of sandpapering and so on, but I don't think it's really necessary here, due to well, it's going to be a very flat gun. And now you see, also build that part with just cutting out all the little templates, put them on there, and just shape them. And you see, here we're gonna put new little panels there. And I also just draw this off the screen on the computer, which I'm a big fan of doing. And you see that little part there is the front of the gun. And here comes the part. And here comes the part where I'm gonna do some little bit of creative freedom. Instead of making the actually extended things that looks like the 10mm polygon, actually I was gonna cut it off here and make, the stock 10mm ones instead, because I decided to do that. And you see, what a twist! I put it on and starting to do the regular thing instead. Because, I just decided to do that. Don't judge me. Now, you see, it's actually starting to look like the 9mm gun. So now we're gonna take some foams and just put into all the little holes, so it will look nice. And now we're gonna cut out the little, I think it is some mechanical parts for it. What it do, I don't really know. And just put a nail in it like that. And then we're gonna make little things that is just, structural holding stamps for the metal, which was a very common technique to make metal parts stronger in the 1940s. And now I'm using my heat gun here, and I don't have full heat here. This is from the 1980s, this heat gun, so it's a little bit slow, so you have to feel when it starts to getting warm. We're just gonna slightly warm it up so it will close all the little cells, so it will be easier to paint. Also, I forgot to record, but you see there I haven't put a little pipe in the front of it to make the barrel. And now I'm gonna paint this black. And you see I'm only painting it one side of the gun because, well, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but well, you see anyway here. Now I'm gonna add some brown paint to this brown plastic wood thing, whatever fallout material it is, and just basically do the same painting routines that I usually do on the other things here. And I also want to point out this time also that you can make this way better than me, because I just did this in an evening. So if you spend like 2 weeks on doing this gun, it will probably be better than mine. So we're just gonna have some painter. And I also want to point out why I'm painting here, that I'm gonna come up with a 500 or more like a 600 subscriber special video, and I thank you all for subscribing to me and find my videos interesting. And now we're gonna take a little sponge here and rub onto the metal, so they will pop out there, so it will look like very old and used. And now we're gonna take some little more of this paint here and make a little bit of rust. Take it very little rust, because it's just you can barely see that it's rust, but it's still rust. And I think we're gonna take some more darker brown here and cover it all up, so the lighter one will just shine through a bit, so you get a little more interesting texture going on there with the paint. Yes, and with that I want to thank you all for subscribing to me and watch this video, and hope you like it. This is how we make like a 10mm gun in an evening. So I have to thank you all. So I will see you back in the next episode of when I do the celebration video. So thank you for watching.